Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. I did a trick one time on the radio. I did a magic trick. I showed people something, and I teased them with that line. So I'm going to show you something. And of course, how do you show something on the radio? And this was before we had a video stream. So I was literally talking about the radio. And then it was when I was working at night, and I said to them, look outside the window and look at that moon. Now, I've just showed you something on the radio. See, wasn't that kind of a cool way?
Yeah, very cool.
Well, right now I'm going to do something. I'm going to get you to smell something through the radio. Absolutely, I can do this. Are you ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
Because I'm depending on you to have had the same childhood I had. Because as soon as I say finger paints, I bet you can smell them.
Oh yeah.
You smell them?
Yeah, I do.
You see?
I love
you got this like audio. What do you call it? Olfactory memory or something? Yeah. Whatever they call your sense of smell. The first time I met you, Robin, was at a birthday party, and it was for children, and there was chocolate pudding everywhere. And and one of the first things I remember you saying was like, well, you know, the children are washable. In other words, you were having a good time watching the kids having a good time with this chocolate pudding that got everywhere.
Yeah, and one of the moms was complaining about the outfit. It's like, that's okay.
Oh yeah,
children are washable.
See, that's what you remember. What I remember was the mess. And as a guy and as an incurable kid, I just always had a good time with that kind of stuff. And Gadzikowski has a book that just really made me think about some of these things. The book is called Creating a Beautiful Mess: 10 Essential Play Experiences for a Joyous Childhood. Anne has more than 25 years experience working in the field of early childhood education as a teacher and school administrator. Today in Marion County is the first day of school for all of the students, correct? High school, college, elementary, the whole thing.
Yep. For public school.
Anne Gadzikowski is a writer of curriculum materials. She's a presenter at education conferences, the early childhood coordinator for Northwestern University's Center for Talent Development. Is she in the Northwest? Wow, she got up early to be with us if she is. Anne Gadzikowski, good morning, Anne.
Good morning.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Evanston, Illinois.
Illinois, okay. That's only one time zone away. Thank you for getting up early to be with us. That's still pretty early, 8:30.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, thank you. So today's the first day of school here. I'm guessing not for you in Illinois. You got another week or two?
Yeah, another week. One more week.
Another week. And are you still a teacher?
I run a summer program. So actually, I just finished my most busy season.
Oh, okay. Kids just want to play, and the book is about helping us as adults understand this.
Yes, it's for parents.
Yeah. So what is it? I mean, why do we lose it? To be honest with you, I don't think I lost it. I think I still like it.
Well, then you're lucky. I think a lot of parents either get so focused on their work, or they feel that children don't play the same ways that they used to when they were little. So I think a lot of what I was trying to do in the book was remind them of the play that they enjoyed, the types of play they enjoyed when they were a kid, and to make sure that they understand that those opportunities are still available to their children now.
You know, I was a big fan of the knock-knock jokes also. Your book points out being silly. I still tell them. I still tell the same stupid jokes I told when I was a kid.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite knock-knock joke then?
Oh my gosh! Oh, you put me on the spot here. Orange. Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? I think that one.
Yeah, you
Aren't
say
you glad
that
I didn't
a
say
lot.
banana? Yeah, knock knock. Who's there? Banana. You know, you do it over and over and over again. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
I love how you encourage playing with blocks and pretending and make believe, because that's something the children can get involved with their parents, and that also it teaches them how to respect other people's choices when you play make believe.
Yeah, you really have to listen to the other person in order to, make the pretend work. You want to cooperate with each other, and you want to have fun together. So there's a lot of conversation. that happens during pretend play.
Can I tell you something about Robin and I? We, when we were younger, we were children's recording artists, and it was right at the beginning of CD technology, and so we chose to not make CDs for children, but instead cassettes, because in those days, parents didn't want their children to touch the CDs. It was like this thing: don't touch them; you're going to get them fingerprinty.
Exactly.
But cassettes were like more rugged. You can touch that, no problem. Put that in your cassette player. Yeah, and that was our decision. And I remember thinking that you want children to be able to have chocolate on their fingers and touching the cassette, and
hands on.
Yeah. So just thought I'd share that with you.
That is a really great example of child-friendly technology, because not only is the cassette hopefully more durable for sticky fingers, but the children can actually see how it works. They can see that there's a tape inside of it. They can see how the wheels turn. So that kind of fits in with what I was saying in the book about children's experiences with machines, that they need toys that are not just electronic machines, but they also need toys where things turn and move, so they can kind of get the idea of engineering and how things work. And a cassette player is a great example of that.
I like the idea that you encourage running around like crazy. I love that quote.
Yeah. Yes. With free abandon, and you can't do that indoors. You can run around in a gym or a playroom or a basement or something like that, but there's something about being outside and having the sky up above you. I think that makes you run and spin in different ways, and children really need that.
Do you know, we used to do a game called Invisible Man when I was a kid, and the way you play Invisible Man was you get one kid on one side of the house and the other kid on the other side of the house, and you run in the same direction, and you never see each other.
Oh, how cool is that? I love that.
Yeah, that sounds really fun.
I'm telling you, I'm still a kid.
Yeah,
I think
you're a great example of positive best practice.
He's a good role model.
I mean, with technology now, I'm hoping we've kind of maxed out on it, though. I'm hoping that the kids are starting to say, "Oh, I'm putting this tablet down. I've had enough of this." I hope we're starting to make tracks back to the playground, back to the swings.
Yeah, social connections.
What do you think?
One-on-one.
Well, I hope so. I think the pendulum is swinging back a little bit, at least in terms of what I see in schools. That there are more schools now, at least from what I see in the media and the teachers that I talk to, where they're being more protective of recess, where they really understand that the children's brains will work better if they have a chance to run around and play in between the more intense studying experiences. So I really hope that we're moving back in that direction.
Yeah, the world is way better than the virtual world as far as learning, as far as a child's experience,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, because the virtual world is so perfect. The sky is perfectly blue, you don't get wet when it rains,
Yes, exactly.
You don't get stung by a bee when you're picking flowers and that kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Do you remember the butterfly net? Wasn't the butterfly net one of the best toys you could get?
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hardly ever caught anything, but at least you're running around with the net and swinging it all over the place.
Right.
I love the fact that you encourage social interaction. I know a young lady who is starting her freshman year in high school today, and I got a chance to meet her when she was at the end of 7th grade, and for that up until now, she was just so craving for attention because her folks had other interests. I mean, they, her grandparents and everything, they provided her with clothing and money to go, with their friends and everything. But it's that attention. Every time I saw her, she would do something to put the attention on herself.
Yeah. And I think, I one of the points that I hope that I really drive home in the book is that children need a variety of play experiences. So, when parents ask me, does my child play enough, or does my child have enough social interaction time with other kids, I really encourage them to try all kinds of different things. There's no just one perfect thing that's going to turn your child into, the happy social being that we all hope that our children become. So, just giving them a menu of lots of different experiences experiences, so they come into contact with lots of different people, and you don't have to make a best friend every single time you play. One of the things I love about playgrounds is whoever is there, the kids will just play together, and that happens fairly naturally. And for the shy child or the child that doesn't have as much experience, they can watch the other kids for a little while, and maybe they can play on the periphery and maybe just join in a little bit. So it gives them just a real broad variety of ways of being with other kids.
I was a shy kid, and I think one of the icebreakers for me was my hamster. My hamster's name was Dick. No, I did. I had a hamster named Dick.
Right.
And then Dick had babies, and then I said to my mother, "Well, it's got to be Mrs. Dick now." And so it was a big joke in my family forever.
Oh gosh.
And all right, so when we come back, we have to take a little break, and I love this conversation. I love everything you're saying, and so we'll take a little break and be right back. Ann Gadzikowski, calling in from Illinois. Her book is called "Creating a Beautiful Mess: 10 Essential Play Experiences for a Joyous Childhood." We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For today, times of clouds and sun with a couple of afternoon thunderstorms around, high 87 to 91. There'll be a shower or thunderstorm this evening, then partly cloudy later tonight, though 73 to 77. For tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds. Best chance of any thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high 89 to 93. For Wednesday, partly sunny, a good chance for a thunderstorm or two, high 89 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your mobile Verizon rep. But not just here, I'll deliver the phone to you in your home. While I'm there, I'll only sell you what you need and I'll personalize it to you. Want to have me get you connected? Then call me at 352-528-0020. I even offer unlimited home phone service for just $20 per month. Just call me, your mobile Verizon rep, at 352-528-0020.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders. Veterans News is brought to you each week by Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952.
Need a mailbox rental but need more information? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. How does $10 a month sound with just a 3-month commitment? Remember, Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Mention WOCA and the setup fee is waived. Personal Service Center will email or text notifications to you when your packages arrive. Even scan mail so you never actually have to pick it up. Now that's service. Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Located on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, Ocala. Look for the yellow sign.
All right, 12 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Today's the first day of school here in Marion County. If you have little children or little grandchildren or little nephews and nieces, and this is a great topic for you. And I'm guessing most people are in agreement with this. I'm just guessing. Ann Gadzikowski has written the book called Creating a Beautiful Mess: 10 Essential Play Experiences for a Joyous Childhood. Can I just tell you one quick story that came to mind? This is not when I was a kid, but when my son was a kid, because my son is an adult now. We went to this place in the Carolinas called Mile High Mountain, I think. I mean, no, Mile High Bridge. Okay. And we drove up to it, and the parking lot was filled, and it said, you have to park at the other one and then walk here. So the other one was like halfway down. And I said, wow, we're going to be walking uphill a half mile. And it was the most fun. I mean, it turned out that what was, this is disappointing. We can't park here. We got to park way down the hill. But we climbed up this path, this trail, that was just as fun as it could have been. I mean, you're walking through spider webs. You're walking through, muck because it had been raining. But it was just the most fun. I still can picture it in my mind, and I'm hoping he remembers it as well. You know what I'm guessing, Ann? I'm guessing that's part of the experience is that you remember it so well. You remember these actual physical things, right?
Yeah, moving around, touching things, smelling things, the way the light comes through the trees, all those kinds of sensory experiences are and I think, I've read that the sense of smell is the most strongest way to bring on a memory, and I think that's really true for children's experiences. And that's one of the reasons why the book is called Creating a Beautiful Mess. Because there's one chapter in the book that's about sensory play, about playing with sand or playing with dough or playing with finger paints. And, we call this sensory play in early childhood, that's our educators' jargon because they're using all of their senses. But there's such rich experiences for the children, and they're so important to them. They can be soothing experiences, they can be social experiences. And I think a lot of parents think that kind of play is just for school, that's just for preschool. I know families who don't have Play-Doh at home, they say, oh, they have a chance to play with Play-Doh at school. But I think that it's really important to have that at home as well. And I hope that the way I wrote about it in the book will encourage families to, experiment a little bit with just giving your child a little bit of pizza dough to play with while you're cooking dinner or something like that. Just something to mess around with at home. And it does make a little bit of a mess, but I think it's really worth it. I think kids really enjoy those kinds of sensory experiences.
It makes them feel like they're part of the family, that people, that their parents enjoy being with them and things. And you also correlate that with cuddly toys. Sometimes, parents will give their child something to cuddle, but it's more than that at times.
Yeah, I think that children learn how to care for each other through the way they care for their toys. And that's not always true. I know kids will, take their action figures and throw them across the room, and those children are not going to grow up to, be violent criminals. But what I mean is with the caring of that special cuddly toy, and usually it's a teddy bear, but it might be a doll or a soft bunny or even a blanket or something like that. That's a very intense and important relationship for really young children. And when I looked at the parenting literature, when I looked at books that are written for parents about this phenomenon in childhood, almost everything I read was about how to get your child to get rid of this toy, how to get,
really?
How to wean your child from this connection that they have to this special toy. And I couldn't find anything in the child development literature to support that there was a good reason for making kids, developmentally give up these important toys. What I saw was that they learned a lot about how to be kind, about how to be protective, about how to love through the ways that they loved their special little teddy bear, their special little doll. And children will naturally give that up when they're ready. So I don't think that parents need to have a lot of concern about, they're becoming too dependent on it.
The family dog or the family cat is usually the family animal, but I mentioned my hamster when I was a kid earlier. That was my pet. And there was something about that too. And when you talk about smells, like when you think about Play-Doh or Crayola crayons, you can smell them. The cedar chips. The other day I was around some cedar somewhere, but instantly my mind went back to. In Lowe's, in the store, and immediately my mind went back to my hamster cage with the chips. Even though I haven't had a hamster in 50 years.
Ooh,
but you know what? But you know what? Yeah, don't get me a hamster. But you know what? That's one of the things too. When your children say, "Gosh, can I get a hamster? Can I get a bunny rabbit?" You always think, well, yeah, but it's going to die, and that's going to be the most heartbreaking thing. But I think that's a good learning experience too.
It is, yeah. They say, every time someone adopts a puppy, they're making an appointment for future grief. That they are going to have to say goodbye to that animal at some point. And I don't write about that in the book, but I do think that the full range of emotions are an important experience in childhood. And for really little kids, they can get that from a toy, or from helping to take care of another a family pet or someone else's pet. So they can have experiences, cuddling and caring for a little creature in lots of different ways.
What's your favorite mess?
My favorite mess?
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I was wondering about that. I mean, what's your favorite mess? Do boys like messes more than girls? Are girls less mess liking?
I don't think that's true. I think there is a tendency for, with what we were talking about before with the cuddle toys, there's more pressure, I think, on boys to give up the cuddle toy because it's not seen as, a typically masculine thing. So I think that, boys need that as much as girls. I don't think it's necessarily true that boys make more messes than girls. That's not been my experience as a preschool teacher and as a parent. I think all children have the potential to make, pretty tremendous messes. So equal opportunity as far as I'm concerned there.
I raised 2 children, a girl and a boy, and they were the same mess. So.
Same mess.
Yeah, they just enjoyed exploring life, and I didn't stop them.
Yeah.
I had a Casper the Friendly Doll, a friendly ghost doll. I had a Casper when I was a kid, and it was white because it's Casper, and it got dirty. So my older brother Bob, who was 2 years older than me, said, "Well, we should paint him." So we painted Casper. And it was never cuddly. He was very stiff and hard after that.
Did your mom get you a new one?
No. We just painted him, and that was Casper. He was stiff like a dead thing.
No. Well, that was a sensory experiment as well. So you learned a lot from that.
Everything you're saying is absolutely just beautiful, and you have to really remember. I'm hoping that the whole video game thing is not. I mean, I'm okay with now and then video games. My son had plenty of video games when he was a kid, and hopefully I gave him enough tactile experiences as well. Is that the word, tactile?
Yeah, I think you did.
Yeah.
He wasn't 100% video.
So
I don't think technology is terrible for children. I think there are some good examples of technology out there, but for every new app for children that's good, there are 10 or 20 that are horrible. So I just think parents have to be they have to look really carefully at what they're downloading and play along with their children, play side by side to see what apps and games that they're using. And there's a resource that I really recommend for parents regarding technology. There's a website called Common Sense Media, and it provides reviews for parents of movies, television shows, apps, games, websites, all kinds of different kinds of media for children, and it's a really good resource if parents are trying to figure out, what's the best app or game for their kids to play.
And I really like the fact that you encourage your children to collect different things.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's part of their personality.
Yeah, and that was the chapter I learned the most from when I was writing the book, because kids don't collect things as much as they used to, and I really was wondering why. And I think it's because of the internet, because it's not hard to find things in the way it used to be. Like if you needed a certain baseball card or comic book to round out your collection, you would have to actually go someplace to a store, a rummage sale or a garage sale, and when you found something, it was such a eureka moment. And now you can just look online, you can Google it, and if you have a credit card, your parents will, use their credit card, you can get it. So there's not as much excitement to collecting. So in the book, I really encourage parents to help their child find something to collect that's really unique and not necessarily something you can buy online, like a rock of a particular shape, like heart-shaped rocks or diamond-shaped rocks or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Something that the child can really look for.
I should have asked this question earlier. As a teacher, I'm just curious. We've got like a minute, so it's probably unfair. But do you think teachers should give less homework so that the children have more time to do fun things? If their time from the moment they get home from school is completely occupied with homework, they're not going to have fun.
Absolutely. I am entirely in favor of less homework. I think it's gotten out of hand. And I say that as an educator, with 25 years experience working with young children, that, a lot of the homework that's sent home does not benefit children. And I think parents should feel empowered to put limits on homework. If you want to spend time relaxing with your child in the evening, then say, okay, after, 30 minutes, we're putting the homework away. I know that sounds kind of radical, but I would do
like it.
Yeah. Put the cell phone away and play with your children. Creating a Beautiful Mess. Ann Gadzikowski, I love what you're saying. The book is here. Call me if you want the copy that was sent to us. The rest of us have to go buy it. And I got 5 seconds. What's a good website?
What? Oh, redleafpress.org.
Oh, Red Leaf.
Publisher.
Red Leaf Press.
Red
Okay.
Leaf Press.
And we'll put links and everything on the Facebook page with this interview.
Great.
This is WOCA Ocala. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. 5 people dead after the mid-air collision of 2 small planes over southern San Diego County. Nick Schuller of California's Fire and Forestry Unit.
I can only tell you that the witnesses reported seeing the mid-air collision. They reported seeing the aircraft hit the ground, and we had numerous reports that there was fires in the area.
1 plane belonged to military contractor BAE Systems, which says 4 of its employees were on board. Crews in Indonesia have spotted the wreckage of a plane carrying 54 people that crashed in a mountainous region.
There's no word on what condition the plane is in because teams haven't got close enough yet. Also, no word on any possible survivors. The airline, Trigana, has a patchy safety record. It's been banned from flying in European Union airspace since 2007.
Fox Radio's Simon Owen. A funeral will be held today for a Houston couple and 6 children. Police say were shot to death by the mother's ex-domestic partner who's facing murder charges. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Geico applauds your inner road name.
A slow clap goes out to your biker alter ego.